Hi, I'm 23, female, and my dad, 47, male, who's been absent all my life, has decided to enter my life randomly because he really wants something from me. For reference, I'll give you the backstory. I was born out of wedlock. My parents were in a 3-month relationship when my mother found out that she was pregnant. As her family was Catholic, she did not want to go for an abortion. As she decided to keep me, in my dad's eyes, it was expected that he was going to marry my mom, so they got married. Their marriage was not as accepted or welcomed by my dad as my mom would have liked it. So eventually, when I was 6, she found out that he was cheating on her. Despite everything regarding their marriage, my mom sort of expected my dad to just be honest with her. But instead of doing that, my dad decided to cheat on her. Not only that, she found out that my dad had been cheating on her for a while. I think the affair was 8 months by then, and that broke my mom completely. My mom was willing to beg my father to stay, and she did, but he abandoned us for the sake of the mistress. When he abandoned us, he also made sure to cripple my mom financially. They had joint accounts as they were a couple, and my dad drained the account completely and then told my mom that he expects her to move out in the next 2 days. My mom and I were kicked out on the streets and we had to fend for ourselves. My dad divorced my mom and went off to live his happy life, leaving me with my mother. While my mother was not a bad person, I would be lying if I said she was the healthiest because she was not. My mom blames me for her marriage not working out a lot. In her eyes, she was being punished for getting pregnant out of wedlock, and it was all my fault. If I did not exist, my father would not have chosen the mistress over her. I tried to explain to her that is not the case. I tried to explain that if my father wanted to be with someone else, he would have been with someone else. Nothing she did would have changed that, but my mother refused to agree with me. In her eyes, I was the source of all her problems, and she took out all her anger on me. My life was not good until I moved away from my mom. I fought tooth and nail for the scholarships and the jobs that would have gotten me out of the house, and when I got one, I took it and left. Do not get me wrong, I love my mom, but after living with her for years and having her tell me repeatedly how I am the reason why her life sucks, it gets tiring. Moving out of the house was the best thing I could have done, and I feel no guilt for doing that. Once I put some distance between us, I had the opportunity to heal from the trauma that my mom put me through, work on the abandonment issues that my father left me with, and I figured out how to cope with my issues. I found a better job, finished my degrees, and I'm honestly just barely doing well. I need another promotion at my current work to get paid a decent amount of money, and that promotion would take at least 2 more years. And to be honest, I'm slaving for that promotion. I'm willing to work extra hours so that I get the job as soon as possible. My mental health is barely hanging by a thread, and I'm doing everything that I can do to keep myself going. That is why when my dad reached out to me after 18 years of no contact, it messed me up a little. The first time he called me, he did not tell me why he was reaching out to me and told me that he does not want mom to know that we have been talking. He did not give me any details or explain why he called me, and I felt like I was going crazy. Every gear in my head was turning a bit more than it probably should have, and I hated it. Finally, 3 days after the first call, my dad asked to meet with me. I was a bit hesitant, but I decided that it would be the best call for both of us to meet. I met with him and it brought back a lot of memories. I will not lie. A huge part of me was hoping my dad got back in contact with me because he wants to be in my life and everything. But I was wrong. Turns out my dad came in touch with me because he needs me to do him a favor. He wants me to adopt the child that he had with the mistress he left us for. The mistress, the mom of the child, passed away during COVID, and after 2 years of taking care of the child, my father is willing to go back into the dating market. While venturing out, he realized that most women do not date someone who has a 6-year-old kid, and so he wants to chive the child to me so that he can be a single man, free of all that is binding him and making him undateable in the current market. Hearing his request broke my heart. Like, how can this man abandon another child like this? Like, was abandoning me not enough for him? Not only that, why do I have to take care of his messes? Getting the mistress pregnant and having a family with her was his choice. Why do I have to be the one who has to take care of it? Also, having a 6-year-old child when I'm 23 years old is a huge financial burden on me. And based on how my dad reacted when he left me, I know that once I take the child in, he will never reach out to us and I would have to deal with everything on my own. I told him that I did not want to take the responsibility. I did not want to beat around the bush, and my dad went off on me. He told me that I'm a terrible person for not wanting to take care of my sibling. He even went as far as to say that this is exactly why he left us, and I do not know. I have been trying to not let his words affect me, but since I have returned from that meeting, I keep feeling like I ruined my parents' marriage. And these thoughts are so overwhelming. I don't want to tell my mother about it because there is no reason for her to know. I do not want her to say things she used to say. So I'm just here. If anyone could give me some advice or comfort, I would appreciate it a lot. Update 1. Hey everyone, thank you for reaching out to me in a swarm. I have so many messages I honestly cannot reply to all of you, but I will try. You guys are so sweet for going out of your way to comment and message me so many positive things. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys being here for me. I do agree that my relationship with my mother was turning abusive. We do not live together anymore, but we are in touch. I felt like the distance would let me heal, and it did. Once I felt like I could deal with her outbursts and mean words without letting them affect me, I rekindled my relationship with her. I saw all the comments where you guys suggested I tell her about this thing and to get her opinion on it, so maybe I will do that. On the other hand, my dad has been leaving me a lot of voicemails going on and on about how I am a bad daughter and everything. I honestly do not know where he got my number because initially he messaged me on my social media account, but now he's calling me. I have not picked up or answered any of those. I don't know what to do. I will consider talking to my mom before I take a step. Update 2. Y'all, my dad is so manipulative. He recorded a video with the child when she was begging me to take her in. I feel like this is child abuse. Is this child abuse? The child is saying how my dad is not very nice to her and she would rather be with me because she knows I will be so much better as company. And honestly, I don't know how to feel about that because I'm not looking to be responsible for another life when I'm not earning much myself. I don't know what I should do. I forwarded the video to my mom and told her about the whole situation. She thinks that I should take in the child because if I do, I will have a reason to rekindle my relationship with my dad. I told her about the financial concerns and she was all, yeah, I did it with you. Why can you not do it with your sister? But I do not feel the sisterly bond towards the child. In my eyes, she is just a child and not a sister. What should I do, guys? Will I be a bad person if I don't take her in? I do not know what I should do anymore. Update 3. So I did something. I took all the screenshots of the chat on social media where Dad wanted me to take the kid. He had been messaging me on my account while sending me voicemails. I forgot to mention it in the last update. Along with the video he made of the child, and I sent it to the authorities. I explained the whole situation and told them that I can't take care of her while I'm sort of living paycheck to paycheck. The authorities took the whole information from me and said that they would look into it. 2 days later, I got a voicemail from my dad screaming at me for calling CPS on him because he deserved better. He called me selfish and ungrateful along with a few words I'd rather not put here. Based on all the details I could find out from his ranting and his Facebook account, the child has been removed from his custody, and as the mistress's family heard about it, they started slandering my father because my father refused to give the child to them whenever they asked, and now this drama has happened. Since the day I got that voicemail, my dad has stopped contacting me. He contacted my mom and complained about me to her, which led to her calling me and informing me how badly she thinks of me. But I cannot say I was scared. I listened to whatever she said and forgot everything promptly after she hung up. For better mental health, I have blocked my father's accounts on social media. I do not want him reaching out to me while I recuperate and deal with everything that has happened over 14 days. Thanks for suggesting ideas and comforting me, you guys. You guys are the best. Oh my God, OP, no. Say no to your dad and ignore your mom. They both weren't the model parents themselves, and I do not understand why they think they have any place to comment on your integrity. Your dad is TA in this whole story, and your mom is TA by emotionally abusing you for so many years. OP, you will not be a bad person. Your father abandoned you for the mistress and never got in touch with you over the years until now, when he wants you to take the child off his shoulder. I'm pretty sure the family of the mistress wanted the child, and he refused because he thought that it would help him get more girls with the whole single father sob story. And now that that is not working, he expects you to take the brunt of it. Next story. I'm 28, female. My friend has a cousin, Molly, 30s-ish, female, that she's close to. I've met her a handful of times and until this incident didn't think one way or another about her. There have been a couple of weird things prior, and after asking my friend, no, Molly isn't on the spectrum or has food aversions, which leads to why I'm posting here. A friend invited us out and she asked if Molly would come along. While we were ordering, Molly kept making a big deal with the waitress about how she didn't want raw shrimp with her meal. She wanted it cooked. Molly pointed to the table next to us where one of the people had grilled shrimp and said, "That's what I mean. I don't want raw shrimp. I want it cooked." The waitress was a champ and told her she'd ask if they could substitute tempura shrimp for the regular grilled shrimp. While the waitress was gone, my friend told Molly that the shrimp is cooked and not raw. It's just grilled. Molly went on a whole tangent about how it didn't look cooked to her, insisted that it was raw. Whatever, we order and try to drop it. A couple of us got regular shrimp with our meals, myself included, and I got a side of tempura shrimp because that stuff is good. So here's where I might be the AH. When we got our food and started eating, Molly made another comment about how she didn't get how we could eat raw food like that, and we were going to get sick. I had enough and told her that our food is cooked, and the only difference between our shrimp and hers was the breading. So I peeled off the tempura from one of my pieces and held it and the regular grilled shrimp up to her and went, "See? They look the same. The shit is already cooked. You're just being willfully ignorant." Molly excused herself to the bathroom and the vibe was killed after that. We got our food to go and paid right after that, and I did apologize to the rest of my friends. My friend and another of our friends have been on my case the past day and a half over this and keep telling me I need to apologize to Molly. I don't think apologizing to her is warranted in this instance, though it's one thing to have a hang-up over a food item, but it's another to keep making comments after you've already had something explained to you. AITA? I think the tipping point to me is that she was criticizing others' food that they had ordered. It's one thing to be ignorant about a topic. It's another to make comments indicating people who actually have a clue are the stupid ones. Saying you're going to get food poisoning is essentially calling your meal gross. I'd have no patience for that kind of behavior. NTA. NTA. If Molly was 4 years old, this would make sense. Molly is 30s-ish. She's a grown adult who is responsible to manage her own feelings. I'm not sure how she got to that stage in life without knowing what an actual raw shrimp looks like or someone explaining what you did. I don't think you were the AH for being the one to finally do it. Next story. My girlfriend has an 8-year-old daughter with a heart condition. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. My girlfriend's daughter has very specific needs that can be hard to work around. She can only be with one babysitter, so if we want to go out without the kids, we have to go on the babysitter's schedule. If we do want to bring the kids, we have to be at her house by 7 so her daughter can be in bed by 8. Day trips are nearly impossible because she takes a 2 to 3 hour nap at 12, so we either have to be driving for those 2 to 3 hours, we have to leave after she wakes up, or we have to get a hotel, motel, Airbnb for her to take a nap. Yes, we've actually done this before. Then there's all the hospital stays to work around too. She stays in the hospital for 2 nights every 14 days. I only have 50-50 custody of my kids, so it's very hard to get the kids together because of all this. Sure, we can go to Build-A-Bear, the indoor playground down the street from her house, or out for ice cream, but you can only do that so many times before the kids get bored of it. I've been trying to plan a weekend trip to an amusement park for so long, but she wants to make us all work around her daughter's nap schedule. The amusement park doesn't open until 10, but we'd have to leave at 11:30 so she could go back to the hotel for her daughter to take a nap. We could go after she wakes up, so we'd probably get in at around 3:30, but the water rides close at 5, so my kids would only get to ride one, maybe two water rides, then another couple regular rides before we'd have to go back for her daughter to go to bed. She wants to do something that would be more accessible to her daughter. She can't go on the bigger rides or water slides, and her having to take a nap would take a lot of time from the rides and games. Like the beach and rent a place where we can do things in the house instead of having to go out all the time. But my kids really want to do the amusement park trip. I eventually told her we're going to do the amusement park. She and her daughter are welcome to join, but we won't be leaving early for naps or an early bedtime. She says I'm dismissing her daughter's needs, but I think she's refusing to take anyone else's needs into account. Edit. My girlfriend just texted me that since I'm unwilling to compromise and find an accessible activity that everyone would enjoy, she booked a last-minute 7-day cruise for herself and her daughter so the kids and I can do whatever the hell we want, but she won't have any part in it. NTA. There are several ways to manage this IMO, including everyone going, you taking your kids to the park at 10, and her bringing her daughter to the park at 3 after a quiet morning, and everyone can then focus on quieter rides and walking around the park, then a nice dinner. Then there's the nights she's not available anyways. You've chosen this woman and this child to be in your life, so I don't like the way you're talking about them like they're a nuisance. But as long as you are also actively taking an interest in planning activities that prioritize, not just work around, the girl, you're fine. YTA, and this isn't just about this trip. You obviously don't understand her daughter's needs and have an unrealistic view of what life together is going to look like for you as a family. Your girlfriend and her daughter have a life that will always be a bit different and difficult and require accommodations, and you don't seem to understand that. You complain in your original post about her daughter needing to go to the hospital as if she's doing it to be difficult, not because she's very sick. YTA. Oh, it's such a bore to try to keep this little girl alive. We can't plan our one and only interest, going to an amusement park because of her. The child's health needs may be inflexible, so go to the amusement park with your children one year and rent an Airbnb at the beach the following year. Alternate including the sick child in activities that can accommodate all the care, nap breaks, and precision she needs with taking your kids to a place that does not offer the needed accommodations. Be fair, plan and schedule. Do your internet research. Everyone gets to have fun, but whine about a sick child's health needs and you're the AH forever. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.